+44, Charlesville, Camilla's Country. I've done the sights in London many times, so I don't have to do it again. Instead, I'm really here to eat and to explore London from a foodie's perspective. But be prepared for your wallet to take a beating though, because spending in British pounds when you're coming from Australia isn't for the faint-hearted.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
G'day guys, and welcome back to my video, and I'm coming to you from London, and behind me is Buckingham Palace. So this visit, I will take you through my transits through London. So on the way into Scandinavia, I'll have one night here, which is right now what I'm doing. And on my way back from Scandinavia, I'll have another night here in London. So come along with me to see what can I get up to for this transit stay in London. And of course, food will be involved. So come along with me and let's see what I can get up to on this visit. Let's do this.
If you're new to my channel, my name's Ryan. Born and bred in Singapore, I now call Australia home, and I create heaps of travel and food-related content. This trip sees us set foot in 5 countries over the course of 2.5 weeks. We stop in China for a first glimpse into an often misunderstood country. And then we set off to the UK, where we'd spend most of our time in Scotland as part of a wedding party. And what an eventful week that was. We then make our way towards Scandinavia, stopping in Denmark, and I pay homage to Sweden, because every person alive needs to visit the ABBA Museum and know that the meatballs you have in IKEA taste nothing like the ones in Sweden. We make a brief stop in Finland before heading back to the UK for our extremely long flight back home. This travel series will be filled with flight reports, destination vlogs, and a train journey thrown in for good measure. And these videos will be linked in the description as and when they're published. So make sure you hit the subscribe and the bell icon so you won't miss the next episode coming up. Giving me a like is a good way to support my channel. So here's the thanks, because it's very much appreciated. London is bloody expensive, there's no doubt. From your daily expenditure to accommodation, the burning hole in your pocket just keeps getting larger by the second. So I look for ways to save as much as I can, and what I always do when I'm here is staying at the airport. My pick is the Crowne Plaza or Holiday Inn Express connected to Heathrow Terminal 4. And make sure your room comes with breakfast. It normally costs around the mid-200 Australian dollars per night, which is a fraction of what hotels cost in London City. From Terminal 4, the train conveniently takes you to town in about an hour via the Elizabeth line. Our foodie trail this morning began next to Buckingham Palace at St. James Park. I knew we would be clocking heaps of steps today, so I thought stopping by St. James Cafe for a sweet treat would be a great indulgent way to start the day. You can get slices of delicious cakes and muffins for between £3 to £6 per piece. Hubby went for a custard blondie, whereas I sunk my teeth into a rich chocolate caramel slice. Did you know it rains more in Sydney, Australia than it does here in London? So when weather permits in summer, you get gorgeous days like this one here, with clear blue skies and daytime temperatures hovering about the mid-20s. Perfect for all that walking you're about to do.
Alright, Alright, now so I am in my unofficial happy place. This is Chinatown in London. The challenge is deciding what to eat. So I've kind of sort of decided on getting some roast duck here in London. For some reason, roast duck is really, really popular here in London, so I want to get some in my stomach right now. So hopefully we will find a place to settle down and eat. Yeah.
I've never been able to figure out why the heck is London roast duck so popular. This trend has even been exported overseas, and I've seen some restaurants as far away as in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, advertising the fact that they serve London roast duck. Since now I'm here in London, there's no better source than right here in Ground Zero. So I look to an institution right here in London's Chinatown. Welcome to Lotus Garden, and they've been a fixture here at this prominent corner of Gerrard and Macclesfield streets for over 30 years with their bright red Anglo-Oriental facade. I've been here a couple of times, which is why I know you cannot go wrong with the serve of their succulent duck. Inside, it is noisy, with plates and cutleries clanging constantly, and together with impatient waitstaff who are so busy to the point they do not even have the energy to crack a smile, you know it's going to be an experience. Having numerous small meals throughout the day was really the way to go. So we ordered the very white person's selection of chicken satay sticks with dubious peanut sauce, which honestly didn't taste all that bad. There was also salt and pepper softshell crab, and of course the serve of this absolutely beautiful looking, inviting plate of fatty roast duck. Oh gosh, I cannot wait to dig in. The duck was honestly so tasty it made my jaws ache. Roast duck in London supposedly has less fat than normal, and the skin isn't as crispy as the ones you'd find in Guangzhou or Hong Kong. But hey, they've got the flavors nailed down to the T. A perfect blend of 5 spice, hoisin, rice wine, garlic, sugar, and all coming together in this explosion of culinary perfection. And the rendered fat of this bird just coats the overall flavor profile, which gives my nether regions that little tingle of pleasure. Hubby thoroughly enjoyed the softshell crab as well, because a salt and pepper crust is the perfect way to enjoy this delicious crab. Eating the way I do means I needed to work off the calories. London's West End is an amazing sight for the eyes, because you can keep walking around the streets and numerous city squares, and there are sights to marvel at with every turn. People watching is one of my favorite pastimes, and this is a great location to do it.
Hey, it's time for dinner. So this location for our dinner that I've chosen tonight is an immersive experience of Singaporean food. So this restaurant behind me is called Singapulah, and that's where we're going for dinner tonight. And let's head in there to see what this restaurant is all about. Let's do this.
Malaysian restaurants are found all over London, but purely Singaporean restaurants are almost unheard of. A lot of us who were born in Singapore but now live overseas normally make do with dining in Malaysian restaurants because there are a lot of culinary overlaps. But there are some uniquely Singaporean flavors which is rare and hard to find in foreign lands. Therefore, a restaurant like Singapulah will sound like a dream for any homesick Singaporeans because the food culture runs so strongly through our blood. On entering the restaurant, you can just immediately feel the surroundings literally dripping with nuggets of storytelling. A hark back to the Singapore I grew up in the 1970s to the mid-80s, before all that crazy modernization. Like this door here, which is seriously how main doors of public flats look like in the past. And those numbers were how you determined which flat belonged to you. We were seated upstairs, and the nostalgic theme continued with these floor tiles, which is very similar to my grandparents' home kitchen. Finally, with over 70% of us Singaporeans growing up in public flats, The common areas were dotted with cement tables which, once again, has been replicated to perfection right here in London. As a comparison, this is how the original looks like in one of their many colour schemes. When I lived in Singapore, I would have a bowl of bak chor mee every other week. Besides Hainanese chicken rice, which is Singapore's official national dish, bak chor mee is woven into the fabric of a typical Singaporean's everyday life. It has flat egg noodles, not dissimilar to fettuccine, tossed in a magical potion of chili, soy, black vinegar and pork lard. There's minced pork, fish balls, braised mushrooms, and crispy saltfish as garnish. This version has thrown in extra slices of braised pork belly, which isn't traditional. To keep with the authenticity, most of the ingredients you see in this bowl have been imported from Singapore. And the taste of motherland is then instantly created for someone like me, who craves so longingly for the vibrant and colourful culinary scene I left behind in order to seek a life beyond the shores of Singapore. You have no idea how happy I was at this moment. I was almost in tears. Another fave found in Singapore hawker centres is char kway teow. You can normally hear the stall before you see it, because you'd hear the wok clanging from a distance over a huge flame. The ingredients are simple: flat rice noodles, lots of garlic, duck egg, Chinese sausage, and generous amounts of pork lard tossed in a sweet soy over very high heat in a wok. There is no way this can be achieved over an electric stove in suburbia. Sticking true to its roots, the taste fired up my adrenaline as I was once again transported back to motherland. Chili crab is also another famous Singaporean dish which a lot of tourists and locals go gaga over. Here in Singapulah, they have these chili crab bao buns. While this might not be authentically Singaporean per se, points given for their creativity. I do not wish to lie when something isn't up to scratch, because I strive to be as honest as I can with my reviews. So this chili crab bao bun was sadly as tasty as a deflated balloon. Firstly, there was no crab in the filling, so calling it what it is, it's a little rich. Secondly, there was none of that pungent, eggy, chili flavour you'd get from that crab gravy. This wasn't even a curry bun. I have no idea what it was, but chili crab it definitely wasn't. Ultimately, our dinner this evening at Singapulah, plus drinks, had cost us £56. I'd happily come back to work through their menu at some point.
So guys, and that was Singapulah for you. If you see, a line has already formed behind us. So if you want to come to this restaurant, you need to make a booking. All right, because it gets very, very popular during let me do that again. It gets very popular during traditional meal times, and a line is always forming outside. So that gives you an idea of how many desperate Singaporeans are there right here in London. And for me, I've traveled all the way from Australia to this restaurant just to try it out. Yeah, it was pretty legit as far as I was concerned, and yeah, highly recommended for those desperate Singaporeans out there who crave for a taste of motherland. Anyway, so this is the end of my first transit stay here in London. The next time I talk to you, it will be probably a week later when I come back from Scandinavia. So I'll talk to you again when I return. Yep. And just like that, in a flash, a week and a half later, I am back in London. And I'm coming to you from Camden Town. So this is one of my most favorite parts of London, really. So come along with me and let's see what I can get up to in Camden Town today.
When I last visited Camden Town half a year ago for the first time, I made the mistake of eating in a restaurant right around here, and then discovering there was a whole city block of markets with food stalls further up. I really wasn't going to make this mistake today, so I headed straight towards the Camden markets. My mission this morning was very simple. I've decided to arrive in Camden Town on a weekday before the lunch crowd, because where I'm heading to is a magnet for a human conga line of hungry diners. My focus is on the Yorkshire Burrito, which was created by a couple of geniuses in 2015. Who doesn't love a classic Sunday roast with that fluffy Yorkshire pudding, roast beef, potatoes, stuffing, and then drizzled with a rich, luscious gravy? Here at Yorkshire Burrito, you can have all of that in a burrito. The wrap itself is an actual giant Yorkshire pudding, filled with the usual suspects of a classic roast. I've chosen the beef today for £11, and this entire potentially messy but delicious creation, together with the gravy, is drizzled with cranberry, rolled up, and voila! Let's eat! British food is thought to be bland and unimaginative. However, some of my favorites are fish and chips with smashed peas and the traditional Sunday roast. In fact, I even make my own Yorkshire pudding from time to time. I'm not biased when I say I actually make a better Yorkshire pudding than these guys. This pudding was sadly a little bland, but that's where my negative ends. The stuffing was actually pretty flavorful. Perhaps because everything was kinda smooshed together inside, that the gravy tasted like beef, which tasted like potatoes, which tasted like the mushy greens. And the cranberry sauce gave it that extra lift from all that richness. So all in all, this was £11 well spent, and you'll definitely won't be walking away from this hungry, because this is one hearty and comforting meal all wrapped up in a piece of paper. Definitely a thumbs up. As expensive as London is, Camden Market is thought to be some of the most reasonably priced places in town to have a meal. And that's the issue with this market. After you've had your fill, you'd find something else which catches your fancy, like this ultra cheesy looking grilled cheese sandwich. Since it was now hubby's turn to have a meal, his focus went towards the £10 bowl. It's self-explanatory. You fill the bowl with whatever you like for £10. In this instance, it was fried noodles with barbecue chicken and salt and pepper chicken. As much as I go on about how untraditional Chinese food is in the Western world, it is always very dependable if you want a good feed. And this one is no different. Sure, I have no idea what the hell is barbecue chicken supposed to mean, but it tasted good. Hubby always gets dragged along on these foodie trails of mine whenever we travel together, and he never eats much of what he buys. So it is I who ends up mopping the remainder right down to the last crumb. The final location for this video really revolves around sweets. This chain of cafes came highly recommended by our friends during the wedding in Edinburgh. So here we are, at the EL&N. The numerous branches all over London, and around the world really, is thought to be some of the most Instagrammable cafes ever. But I'm not here to Instagram this place. I'm here to eat. Which is why I've chosen one of their shittier looking branches here in London's St. Pancras station, so there'll be no distraction from their excellent confectionery. And with that in mind, let's go increase our sugar intake to insane levels. After picking out for lunch, this was all we could handle. A round croissant filled with pistachio cream, accompanied by a pistachio frappe, and a strawberry stack with a hazelnut frappe. My small mouth found it very challenging to bite into this, but I managed. The buttery, flaky croissant was sensational, and the pistachio cream within was very, very rich. And I absolutely enjoyed devouring this. Hubby's choice was this strawberry stack, and the base felt like a combination of millefeuille and cake. So it tasted similar to a dense cake-like biscuit, if that makes sense. The tartness of the strawberry did offset very nicely this heavy and decadent dessert. I would definitely return to EL&N to work through other items in their menu. And this is saying something, since I'm not someone who's overly fussed about desserts. And with that, it's time to bring this video to a close and return to live Ryan at St. Pancras Station here in London to conclude.
Well guys, this is the end of my London foodie adventure. So what do you think? I mean, would you love to come to London and eat? It's a bit pricey though. You got to keep that in mind when you're doing your foodie thing all around London. But if you can put that aside, London is a pretty exciting destination to come and get your foodie fix. Well, anyway, I've chucked details of my Instagram on your screen right now, so hit me up there, chuck me a follow, so you can actually see where am I traveling to in real time. And of course, more importantly, do not forget to hit subscribe and the bell notification icon, and I'll see you for my next video. Bye!